Engaging time.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. Hit it.
I saw you were with them last night. I saw you were with them last night.
Yeah, that's engaging time coming to a venue near you soon, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the planning stages. Just so you know, engaging time is moi, me, yours truly, your host. We are in the planning stages. We just started of identifying some places we want to play, Sean. But one of the things that I wanted to do, which has been put on hold, sadly, is I was going to submit a tape to Americans Got Talent, and then I was going to actually go out there and audition in person. And because of the wildfires that are going on in Florida and California, Pasadena in particular, they shut everything down until further notice. So that's still going to happen. We just don't know when. And I'll be doing a video hopefully next week with my producer on that song and another song I wrote called Lord, You Blow Me Away. And then I think I mentioned this to you last week or 2 weeks ago. There's a Christian record label coming to a open mic place that I play at Antioch, and the owner specifically called me and they said, "Bill, you've got stuff that they're going to want to hear." So, Engaging Time will be playing at Open Mic and Tea in Antioch, Illinois, at 10:30 on March 21st. I think it's the 21st. Let me just verify that real quick. Bear with me a second while I look at the calendar. Yes, March. Oh, no. Yes, March 21st. Now, that's the good news. Here's the bad news. Sean, my set's at 10:30 at night. So, I'd like to phone it in, but I can't do that. So, anyway.
Well, I guess if it's 10:30 at night, it's
5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly.
That's the mindset I'm going to have. So, anyway. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Your Insurance Corner. My name is Bill Miksch. I'm president of WDMA Financial Group in Grayslake, Illinois. That's Sean Hauser. This is Your Insurance Corner at 101.5 FM WLCB, Slade's Corner, Wisconsin. As I spoke at the beginning of the show, Sean, we're going to start a series of annuities, how they work, what they are, what the purpose is. Who are they meant for? Are they meant for everybody? Are they meant for anybody? What are the upsides to them? What are the downsides to them? So we're going to start evaluating annuities. And let me just tell you, there's 14,000 people a day turning 65. Lots of those people have 401ks. Every single one of those people have experienced the crash in 2001, the crash in 2008, the COVID crash in, 2020, I think?
Yep. 20.
They've all experienced those three crashes and then some corrections along the way. They've worked very hard to build up their nest egg so that they can retire comfortably, whatever that means to them. That definition of retiring comfortably is different for me as it is for you or anybody that is going in that space. So there are billions of dollars a year going into annuities, and it's not because they think these are the greatest investments in the world. So, Sean, if they don't think these are great investments, why do you think they might be putting money into an annuity as opposed to a CD or money market or keep it in the stock market?
Because their broker is entirely charming and has music to tell them. No, it's the security of it. I mean, straight up. That's why you look at these things primarily.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Sometimes you look at them for discipline.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It is to keep some of your money safe. In fact, the industry talks about safe money. Mr. Client, what money do you want to keep safe that if the market takes a huge blowout, that you can look to this nest egg and go, I can't lose this money. That's the money that, at least at the beginning, that's the money you want to set aside in these things. The other one is for purposes of income tax. A reason why you might put money into an annuity is because annuities grow. You don't pay taxes on the money while they're growing inside of an annuity, whether it's IRA money or it's invested money, non-IRA money, if you will. While they're in the annuity, the money grows tax deferred. A third reason might be that depending on the kind of annuity you're buying, you're going to get a guaranteed income for life, depending on the kind of policy you write. And I want to say that one more time. You will get a guaranteed income for life. So let's just say for kicks and giggles, you put $500,000 into an annuity. And let's just say for discussion purposes, it's going to generate $40,000 a year for the rest of your life. If you live 10 years, you spend $400 of the $500,000. If you live 20 years, you have received $800,000. You did not run out of that income. The pool may have run dry, but your income by contract has to be maintained. The insurance company, made a promise to you that that money is going to continue until you pass. And depending on how it's set up, if it's a joint annuity where your spouse is also tied to it, that income will continue until both of you expire. And if you live beyond the amount of money you put into it, you won the bet. You won the bet. Now, I had a question come up a couple weeks ago. Well, what happens if I die prematurely and I only got 3, 4, or 5 months of income and I gave the insurance company all kinds of money? Do I lose it? No. Those are our parents' and grandparents' annuities. That's what's called a life annuity or a life annuitization. There is very rare circumstances for people to do a life annuity. The only one I can possibly think of, Sean, is that there are no kids, there are no spouse, and you don't have any care in the world about who the money goes to, so you want the highest income possible, and if you die 3 days after you started taking the income, the insurance company wins the bet, they keep the money. Bad idea, I think, because you could give it away to charity or whatever. But I would never, I can't think of a reason why I would ever do that to anybody because of the number of options that are in your current kinds of annuities. So people are looking for safety of principal. They don't want to lose their money. They want a reasonable rate of return. If you're expecting a 20% rate of return in these annuities, folks, you're in the wrong place. You're never going to see that. Don't want to burst your bubble. That's for market-based kind of products. These annuities are not meant for that. There may be CDs on steroids. That may be a possibility. And the difference between a CD and an annuity is the annuity at least grows tax deferred. The CD is going to be taxable at the end of its or during its growth period. You're going to pay taxes all along the way. There's no tax deferral on a CD. And guaranteed income. So those are the three things. The other one that may be an option is what I mentioned earlier, is that there are a couple of products out there that will allow you to invade the principal if you need home care or nursing home care. Most policies have a nursing home rider, but there are a few of them that will allow you to invade the principal with no penalty after a period of time if you need it for home care. So those are the predominant reasons. The last reason I would say is for charity. So, Sean, let's say you're worth $20 million. You're pretty happy about that, right?
I would think so.
Yep. Yeah. And you want a decent income from this, but you don't want to get whacked by the estate tax man, the federal or the state that you live in. I don't know if Ohio has an estate tax. Illinois has a $4 million one, a $4 million threshold.
Probably look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably worth looking. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know Illinois definitely has a $4 million estate tax threshold. So if you're worth more than $4 million, you're going to pay an estate tax to the state of Illinois. There are reasons to set up a charitable remainder trust so that you can get income from that trust, and when you expire, when you pass away, the value of the trust that's left will go immediately to the charity of your choice or charities of your choice, and the tax man gets zero, nada, nothing. So there are estate planning reasons why you might want an annuity. But what is an annuity? So, Sean, let's dive into what you think an annuity might be, if you know.
An annuity is, I don't know. I know it's a contract in which you are guaranteed income for life, but I'm not quite sure what the textbook definition is.
So an annuity in its purest form is an agreement between an insured or an annuitant and the insurance company that your money is secure, is safe. You're going to get some kind of a return on your investment, whether it's a fixed amount of a percentage like a CD or something like that, or if it's in an index where you are tied to, let's say, the S&P 500. And if the market goes up, you get to participate in some of the growth. But if the market goes down, you don't lose anything. And then there's another one called a variable annuity, which does not have all of those guarantees because it truly is part of the marketplace. We don't sell variable annuities in our office because we're not licensed to sell them. I won't poo-poo them per se, but I will tell you this. The fees in a variable annuity tend to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 3/4% on off the top. So you're giving away almost 5% before you get anything because of all the fees. And then at that point, then you're whatever the market does, it does. Whatever the index does, or the mutual funds that you're in, it does. But if you lose, if the market goes down, just like the Titanic, you're going down with it. And there's very few of those that guarantee the principal because the risk is that you've got more flexibility of putting money in and out and moving the money around to keep the money, quote unquote, safe. And that's a kind of a buzzword. But the money's not safe if it's in a variable annuity. It's safe if it's in a fixed annuity or if it's in an indexed annuity. So an annuity is nothing more than an insurance contract that it says to the client, we are going to secure your money, pay you a reasonable rate of return, and after the term of the annuity is up, you either have to make a decision to do another one, roll the money somewhere else, or in some cases you can just let it sit there and continue to do what it's doing because you don't need the money. But it's nothing more than an insurance contract to secure the money. It's also a product, to your point, Sean, to guarantee an income stream, and they're usually bought by retirees. They're not bought by somebody who's 20-something. In fact, I don't even think an insurance company would issue an annuity to a 20-something. And if they did, the income is not going to be very good, to be honest with you, because of the fact that you're so young. If you're in your 20s or 30s, there may be a good reason to do one so that you don't run out of income. But unless you won the lottery, don't expect great things to come out of that. But on the other hand, if you won the lottery, let's say you won $500,000, Or let's say let's take it. Let's say you won $10 million. So you're going to get $5 million straight away if you take the lump sum. You might want to take $2.5 million of that and drop it into annuity, even if you're 20 or 30 years old. The money can't be lost. They'll gladly take your money. I just don't know if they'll actually give you an income stream out of that. Partially because annuities kind of follow the same rules as 401ks. That there may be some penalties if you take the money too early.
Well, and I was thinking that a person who's 30 years old and puts in $2 million in an annuity, they're going to figure, well, we got to pay this thing now for the next, say,
50 years.
Some odd years.
Yeah.
Right, 50 years. Now, someone like myself that's in their 50s is going to drop that money in annuity. Well, they're probably figuring I got 25, 30 years tops. So my monthly payout would probably be higher.
Right. Yours definitely going to be higher than somebody in their 40s.
Period.
Yeah. Now,
right.
To your point, let me broaden that a little up. So let's say Kelly was 20 years younger than you. So let's just say you were 55 and she was 35. Okay? So Kelly robbed the cradle.
Yeah.
So, right. So you decide that based on where you're at, you're going to do an annuity, and you want it to be a joint annuity, not a single payout annuity. Well, they're going to look at Kelly's age for purposes of payout of that annuity, not yours. Even though you're older, they're going to look at the younger spouse or participant in that annuity for purposes of drawing that income. So you're thinking, the broker or the insurance guy said you're going to get X. They didn't connote the fact that your spouse is 20 years younger for whatever their stupid reasons. They should have they should have had their radar on, but let's say they just goofed completely. And you write it up, and the income comes in, and it's $3,000 a month less than what you thought it was going to be. And you're like, hey, that's not what you told me. And then it turns out that it's because this Kelly's age, who's 20 years younger than you, is driving the wagon and has got 50 years to go before, and she's a female on top of it. So she gets a lesser income because she's a female, because they live longer, and because she's 20 years younger than you. So whenever a joint annuity is going to be done, it's going to be based on the younger spouse's age, not the age of the annuitant, unless the annuitant decides that they just want the income for themselves, and whatever is left if you expire, your spouse gets whatever's left in the pool. That typically doesn't happen. Most annuities are driven by joint income, by a joint arrangement, so that the income continues if one spouse passes away prematurely. So how are they designed? So they're designed for steady cash flow for people typically in their retirement years to alleviate the fear of outliving their assets. So this is really important, folks. I hear a lot of people go, I got $1 million, I got $2 million, I got $5 million. Bravo. You need a standing ovation for the hard work it took to get to $1 million, to $5 million, whatever the number might be. But people don't live on pools of money. They live on income. So when you're starting your retirement discussion, whether it's at 50, 55, 60, 67, or whenever, what is the money? How much money do you need to sustain the lifestyle that you want on a monthly basis? That might include rent or mortgage, property taxes, vacations, food, clothing, certainly medical care, especially if you're retiring early. You're going to have a huge wake-up call if you're not 65 and you're retiring early and you don't have a retiree plan to fall back on with your employer. You've got COBRA for 18 months, and then you got Obamacare. And right now, I'll tell you, for persons that are 60 years old, they're looking at $1,000 minimum a month, unless their income is is significantly down. That's $12,000 a year plus a $9,200 out of pocket. That's $21,000 a year that you're exposed to before the insurance company is going to cover you at 100%. Where's that $21,000 coming from if, God forbid, something should happen to you? So these annuities are structured in such a way, and again, this is for how they work, so that the person never runs out of income. And that's a critical thing. And I want to alleviate the fear of, well, my uncle had one of these and he died prematurely and the money went back to the insurance company. Folks, the annuities have evolved. They have grown up, and they've become mature, and the market has heard you. So then it's a matter of finding a program and an insurance company that is worth their salt to put your money. There are A-rated carriers. There are B-rated carriers. In many offices like mine, we don't represent B-rated companies. I'm not going to poo-poo other brokers, but B-rated companies are B-rated for a reason. So just like anything else, buyer beware. Let's see, we're coming up on the top of the hour, Sean. So we're just starting the process of what an annuity is, how it works. We're going to go into a deep dive next week on more information about these things. We're going to get into what potential fees are, what the pros are for having an annuity, what the cons are for having an annuity, and how much money you should put in and for what reasons. So we're going to get into all of that over the next couple of weeks. Sean, do you have any comments?
No, sir. Nothing to add.
All right. Don't forget your email.
I understand. I will. I'll do that right now, as a matter of fact.
Teasing you. So I won't be at the staff meeting on Saturday, just so you know. And as we're closing out tonight's show, as a tribute to my brother-in-law, I just want to say, as quoting my pastor, Pastor Bob Davis at our church, nobody is guaranteed a permanent place on this earth. Nobody. We are all renting our space. So make sure today and tomorrow and every day you tell the people that are in your life that you love them, give them a hug, tell them that you care for them, because tomorrow you might not be around. Let the people know in your life right now, while they're still breathing, while they're still alive, that you care. For my brother-in-law, Al, rest in peace. You're no longer in pain. You left your family in good hands. You will be missed. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week on your Insurance Corner. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.